Hello, guys, and welcome to a new episode of Nitro Nights Stories powered by Overtake.gg. I'm Melly, and I'm your host of this bi weekly podcast. And I can't wait to introduce our guest of today. But first of all, for everyone that is new with us, thank you so much for joining. And this podcast revolves around esports racing, and that's why we look for prominent faces of the esports racing industry, invite them to our podcast and have a chat with them. And that's basically it. That's what we're going to do today as well. And today's guest is someone you have already seen on this Twitch channel. By the way, if you're new with us, hit that follow button because this channel just launched last Sunday, excuse me, during the Clash of Races by Overtake Challenge. And it was amazing. We had a great time. And as already said, she's no stranger to this channel, so please welcome with me Maxime MXM. Maxime, can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. Hello.
Hello, how you doing?
I'm great. It's great to be here. Thanks for the invite.
Of course, of course. I mean, you were with us on Sunday already. You had one day off with us at least. I'm sure you
Yeah.
were busy creating all the amazing things you do. But now you're back.
Yeah. It's like
But
it was a great Sunday, and it's great to be here again. But it's a busy time.
exactly. So, but it's also good that things start like getting back to normal, right? Because the last few months, at least for me, have been very different.
Yeah. Since this year is just really weird. It started off like quite nice. I traveled the first couple of months as well, and then everything started to like change, and now we're all stuck at home. But it's getting a bit more normal. I went to the restaurant another time, and we did some shopping. But yeah, no traveling. So hopefully we'll be able to do that at the end of this year, or we'll see.
We will
As
see
it has to be
exactly.
safe.
Maybe I'll have you with us in our studio at some point. That would be amazing.
Yeah.
Yes. But before we jump too far into the topics we want to discuss in today's podcast, um, let's take a second and circle back, and maybe you could introduce yourself to our audience and the ones who shouldn't know you.
Well, I'm Maxime MXM. I'm from the Netherlands. I just turned 23 when in May, and I really love racing. I started karting when I was 4, and I've made a Dutch YouTube channel now with mostly racing now. But I'm starting an English YouTube channel as well with the new F1 2020 game because I really can't wait for it. And I have some English viewers. I know a lot of English persons who like to watch me but don't understand what I say. So that had to be changed. And with the new F1 game, that's going to happen.
Exactly. The new Formula One game is going to be released soon. You already said it. And so, very, very exciting days ahead of us. And when it comes to esports racing, the past few months have been very exciting as well. I mean, you're no stranger to the esports racing scene. How long have you been involved?
Oh, well, how long did I get involved? I started I got my first rig when I was with F1 2017. So that's a couple of years ago. And I've started to make videos about that game. And I also got invited to some shows in the Netherlands and met some of the people there. And it just got bigger and bigger. And now just it's not only F1 anymore, but also some other games. So yeah, I've been in the scene for a couple of years and it's great to be there.
Yes, and I mean, due to the pandemic, the COVID-19 situation, who brought our lives pretty much to halt when it comes to traveling and doing like things that we took for granted, like going shopping or sitting outside in a restaurant with our friends. It felt like the esport racing scene, it was kind of a huge chance to grow even bigger, especially in the last few months.
Yeah, true. It's like real racing, of course, wasn't possible, unfortunately. So all the great professional racing drivers were at home, and yeah, they were getting bored as well. So why not get a really good sim rig? Or some of them even had already a really good sim rig and started streaming. And yeah, a lot of tournaments were set up, like the virtual GP and stuff. So it's great to see that those professional drivers did things like this. And of course, maybe they really wanted to race because it's really boring if you're like flying around the world normally, and now just sitting at home doing, yeah, not being able to do any racing. So it's great
And
to see.
not being able to do what one loves, right? That's
Yeah.
also something. Like most of the athletes I got to know, if they're traditional athletes or digital athletes, they love what they're doing. They're really passionate about their craft, especially when it comes to athletes that are very competitive. And is the motorsports scene is very competitive, even if it's digital or traditional, right?
Yeah.
So if you take away the engines and the smell of gas, they find a new way to make it happen.
Yeah, exactly. And that's the online way is the way for them for now. But oh yeah, we're going back to real racing very soon. So I can't wait till next week, and then we finally get to see some real cars on the track again.
That's exciting. That's very exciting news. So finally, world starts spinning again, and people are starting to getting back in their crafts and work. So you said you started out with karting. How did that happen?
Yeah, I was 4, and I went to the like karting center with my dad and brother, and my brother was too scared to drive, and I was like, yeah, I want to drive, so I jumped in the cart. I still have some pictures of those times, and yeah, there I was like, wow, I really like this, and I never stopped. We went to the karting center, I think every time we were at my dad's place, and we had like a little note on the fridge with our fastest times. So
That's
through the
amazing.
years, we never stopped racing, and we always tried to be like quicker and beat each other and improve the time. So it was also like little like family competitive thing.
So you grew up in a very competitive surrounding. It seems like this, at least.
Yeah, at least like the list with the times is a bit competitive, and also with other games, I always try to like be better than my brother. So it's a bit like how I am. I always want to be like quick and fast and or good, but sometimes it's also more important to have fun, and that's what I've been focusing on more the last couple of years.
That sounds great, but for me, winning is fun. So I always
Yeah.
try to win. So I can absolutely understand your mindset about that. I'm a very competitive person myself. Growing up with siblings, I think. Do you think that it has an effect on you? Like when you're growing up, if you have someone constantly around you, and your siblings, of course, you love them to bits because there's your siblings, and but on the other side they're also like your very first competitors, right?
Yeah. Yeah. I think that definitely had like some impact on what I'm doing now. Like I don't know if I even started gaming without my brother, but I think so. Like we started pretty young with the games, and it only got like bigger and better. And first he was quicker on racing games, but now sometimes he jumps in my racing seat and he tries to beat my times. But now it's the other way around.
That sounds great. Is he younger or older than you?
He's 1 year older, so he's 24 now.
Okay, so all right. So, um, was he the one that got you into esports racing as well, or how did that
Um,
happen?
Well, we always played on a controller, just like a bit simple. And he always had the racing games and got me introduced with that as well. But with like the whole rig and stuff, I got like a rig from a company which I could like use for a couple of months, and that was like, yeah, I can try to like. I have my YouTube channel. I like racing. I have the rig now, so just combine it and give it a try, and it worked out like pretty well.
Mm. That sounds great. I mean, if something comes easy, it's much more fun to like pursue that thing and get better at it, right? So, are there any other games that you play?
Yeah, I play like a lot of games, but racing games and shooter games are my main. So F1 is my favorite racing game, and then I really also like Call of Duty and Valorant and some of the new games. And if there's a new great release like Animal Crossing, I played that as well. Now The Last of Us 2. There are a lot of like amazing games that I just want to play, and I usually like stream that as well so people can enjoy it. But yeah, I really like to have a variety of games so I don't just play one game because that can get a bit boring.
That's very monotone, isn't it? I mean, coming from me, who played Counter-Strike religiously for 10 years straight without touching any other games because that could ruin your skill, you know, and I was playing on a level where I couldn't afford that. I didn't want to
Mhm.
afford that. Stupid thinking, but that's how I'm built, you know? Very focused, very straightforward. And but it's like talking to myself, which is amazing. Usually I'm the one that gets asked the questions, and now I can return that. So how was it growing up as a girl liking video games? What did your friends say?
Well, of course, my like the guy friends, they really liked it, and we played a lot of games. And I don't know, I always played more with guys than with girls because, of course, they don't all like games. But sometimes when we had a like party or something, we just turn on the console and we let them play against each other, and it's just hilarious. Like we had a lot of like funny moments and laughing a lot because it was just a bit of a mess, but it was a lot of fun with them. And yeah, still doing it.
Yes, I mean that's something I usually say as well. Like I always played with boys because my female friends didn't really like video games. So I put a lot of thought in it, and I was like, I was at some point I was wondering why it was that way. What is your take on that? Why do you think that girls are not so visible, especially in the competitive scene when it comes to video games? Because if you look on the total of gamers, 50% of them are girls. But when it comes to the competitive scene, it's just a fraction of them being, I don't know, being ready to go into competitions and see who has the upper hand in a direct matchup. Why could that be?
Yeah, that's a really hard question. Of course, there are a lot of great gamers out there and great females as well, but some are just hidden. We don't know that they're that great and they need to show themselves. So if you're a girl out there and you're really good, just go for it, go for the tournaments. And yeah, it's great to see more girls at tournaments and show them that we can do this.
Yes, I sometimes hear that female friends of mine would be scared to participate in an industry like that, which is really male dominated, obviously. But I must say, as soon as people realize that I'm like really focused and that I'm really in it because I wanted to be in it and that I'm really passionate about the topics, they actually stop questioning me being there. I don't know how you experienced it in the past.
Yeah, I played Call of Duty like on a really high level. I was in an esports team and we played like tournaments through Europe. So of course, first the team you're playing against is like, haha, they have a girl, easy, we're gonna win. And then you're like beating them and you are at the top of the leaderboard. And then they're like, oh, she's pretty good and she's like focused and she knows what she does. So yeah, then they're like a bit embarrassed of themselves. But yeah, I think gamers just should get the right like the same chance even though if you're a boy or a girl. But yeah, sometimes some people don't see that yet.
People are gonna be people, right? Exactly.
Yeah.
But no, that's how I see it as well. Like in a few years, or even like I think in 5 to 10 years, no one will ever question girls or women in the industry. And I mean, I started in esports 18 years ago. I'm 32 now, and I my first appearance when I was 14, if I'm not mistaken. Is that correct? Is that, yeah, it works out. On-air math is always a bad thing, and you should never do that. And I always keep on doing it. But for now, it works out. So in those 18 years, I saw the the girls and women in the industry grow. Like they're much more female participants in the industry than like 10 years ago, even 5 years ago. So I think that discussion won't be happening in 5 to 10 years anymore.
Yeah, I think so too. We're heading in the right direction, and more girls are like in organizations and in teams and everything. So hopefully we'll keep going this way, and that's the right way ahead.
Exactly. So if one of our audience members is female and wants is thinking about competing or getting involved in the esports industry, do it, right? I mean, it's amazing. I love
Yeah.
every single second of it. And I mean, as already mentioned, I'm in it for 18 years now, and some might say, Melly, well, then you should have learned something proper, then you could do something else. But I did. I did my apprenticeship, I did my bachelor's, I did my master's, and I'm still stuck with esports, luckily.
Yeah, same for me. I was studying still when I was starting my YouTube channel, so I still had to focus on school, and it was really annoying. But now last year I graduated, and it's great to have a little bit of backup. But I'm loving it here in the like racing world and stuff, and it also got me a lot of opportunities, and I can live from this now. So it's like a great decision I made in my life, and I can't wait to like do more. And although this year is a bit weird, there's still gonna happen a lot of like online things, so I can't wait to see everything that's happening.
Yeah, that's very true. I mean, I must say, as much as I love our studio productions, like the one on Sunday or the Nitro Night shows, for example, I really miss events. I really miss meeting people that are that have the same passion about a topic that I have, and start an exchange with them on a personal level, like not via computer. How do you feel
Yeah.
about that?
Yeah, I miss travel a lot, but I understand like the current situation in the world. It's like, yeah, health first, and it has to be safe. So that's the main priority. But I was traveling like twice a month all around the world. I went to the beautiful, most beautiful places around the world, and I really want to go back and just travel again and see the experiences and see the other cultures and stuff. So it's traveling was one of my biggest like hobbies. But
Mm.
hobbies. But it's
Yeah.
yeah, I don't know. We're traveling so much and meeting all the people indeed, and it's just really motivating as well. And you get inspired by other stories and just talking with people with the same passion. And I'm really hoping that we can do it again soon.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm absolutely with you on that. So, being stuck at home, you were busy creating a lot of content on YouTube. What
Yep.
was like when you look back on the last, let's say, 3 to 4 months, what was your most favorite video and why?
My most favorite video. Ooh. I think the F1 Legends race with like David Coulthard, Nico Rosberg, and I was invited to that race, and I started at the back of the pack because it was like random grid. And
Mhm.
the first corner there was a massive incident. I could like pass all the cars, and I was driving in the first place for a couple of laps. And then some other like really quick YouTubers like Tiamat Marduk and Pete Schmidt, the German YouTuber, they took
Yeah.
yeah, they stole my like first and second place, but that was one of my favorite things to do.
Yeah, I can imagine. And speaking of Formula One, what do you think about the virtual Grand Prix and the overall increase of interest in especially the Formula One 2019 edition of the game?
Yeah, I think the virtual Grand Prix brought like the professional drivers and stuff to the game because yeah, it's not the like most sim racing game like iRacing. It's a bit more arcade and easier to drive. So maybe it's not as realistic as they want, but with this virtual GP event, it was like a great opportunity to show other people the game, and also people who maybe not use that game as their like favorite, but also because of their feedback on that game. Now F1 2020 is way better with the ERS, the handling. It's like a whole different thing. Like the handling is so much better, and also Russell said like F1 2020 is really good. So thanks to them, we have a really good game now. And I always loved F1, and I will never talk bad about them, but it's great that we see the progression and the improvements thanks to those drivers.
And that they're listening to their drivers as well, which is amazing, because sometimes I feel like there are huge, especially AAA game studios that release games just for the sake of releasing a game. And here, if you see like development and improvement from in an ongoing series, that's like the highest reward a gamer can get, that he feels listened to. So but on the other side, I think that it was really good that the 2019 edition of the F1 was more arcadey, because it was a lower entry barrier for new faces joining the sim and esports racing industry.
Yeah, and it's just how you use your assists. You can make it as difficult as you want, and they also added some like new features for beginners now to make it even easier to get into the game. So they're thinking about the starters and the like main people, but also about the sim racers and the people who really spend like hours and hours in these games, and to make them happy as well.
That sounds perfect. And Maxime, when I would ask you, like, how important are racing games when it comes to gaming overall, what would you answer?
For me, it's really important. I always started. Like shooters were always my main game. I loved Call of Duty, and yeah, that was like my main game on my channel. But then I started playing F1 and build up that community, and people were loving it so much that it like took over my channel. And so F1 is my most important game now, and I've also added some other racing games, and I'm still wanting to like expand to like iRacing and more Assetto Corsa and stuff. But
And
F1 is
Trackmania!
definitely Trackmania. Yeah. That was so much
God,
fun.
you did so well. It was just insane. So for everyone who missed Sunday's Clash of Races by Overtake launch stream, Maxime was facing the task of racing Cem Bölükbaşı in Trackmania Stadium, and both of
Yeah,
them had actually downloaded the game the night before. And Maxime, you said you only had like 10 minutes in game, but
yeah,
the both of you did so great. Oh my god,
yeah.
it felt like you were playing this game since forever.
No, it was like getting used to the handling and just going with the flow of the track. It was a lot of fun, and it's not like I think it's easy to play and hard to master because there's like esports in this series and everything. But we had a lot of fun and a lot of laughs.
Yeah, exactly. So I mean, I loved every single second of it. And by the way, guys, I see a lot of people sitting on our stream. Thank you so much for joining us during this recording session of this podcast. Um, I would love to ask your questions to Maxime as well. So if you have any questions, fire them straight away, right away into the chat, because I'm sitting in the chat room as well, and I will ask your questions to Maxime if they're nice questions and if they're interesting. So put some effort in, guys. Put some effort in. But Maxime, you said you're based in the Netherlands. You were born and raised there, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah.
How big is the Dutch esports racing community?
It's quite big, but of course we're not the biggest country. So some other countries maybe have like more drivers than we have. But we have some really quick guys who I'm really proud of. So it's great to be a part of the Dutch community and also like talk with the other drivers as well. So I'm really proud of them, and sometimes they also give me some tips to be a bit more quicker. So that's also really, really useful.
I must admit, I've seen a lot of communities in my time as an esports host or as a pro player myself, and I have very rarely met a community so heartwarming and welcoming, like the esports racing community. It's just insane how friendly the people are.
Yeah, I think the same. Of course, I've met like Jimmy at some of the world tour events, and also Steve Super GT. So it's great to meet guys like that all around the world, and then also like spend some time online together. And yeah, it's just great. Everybody's really nice. People want to help each other, and that's not something that you see everywhere. Jimmy also
Mhm.
hosted a Wreckfest event lately, like a couple of weeks ago. So we had all the whole sim racing community in one lobby, and everybody was having fun, and it was just great with everybody sitting at home, not be able to see each other, to still be able to have some fun together. So that was really nice.
Speaking of Jimmy, there were a situation. Well, we had a lovely tweet of you in today's production of the news episode of Nitro Nights. So how's the shed building going, Maxime?
Oh, Jimmy was just too quick with all his sheds. He has so much sheds. I don't know. Like, I'm. I don't know. It's just.
It's crazy,
I
right?
think
I
I
mean,
have
he
to
was
build a
like,
shed as well.
yeah, exactly. So it felt like in every shot where he appeared, he was sitting on a different setup.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
I don't
True.
think that it was necessary. It felt like he just wanted to flex on us, to be honest.
Yeah. He just wants to show like, hey, I don't only have one shed. I have like multiple.
Exactly. So, Kaut has a question actually. Thank you so much for getting involved. Do you remember the best lap you've ever driven? The lap of your life, so to speak.
Ooh. I think not like especially the best lap, or well, maybe in like real life. Last year
Hmm.
in Las Vegas, I was with Rudy van Buren. He's also the Dutch driver, and we were going to a racetrack, and he was going to drive in a Porsche GT3 RS and a GT2 RS. So I was like, oh, can I
Mm,
just watch? Can I just see the cars?
yeah.
Because I just like that. And then we came there and we waited, and it was like, okay, who's gonna drive the Porsche GT3 RS and who is gonna drive the Porsche GT2 RS? So I was able to drive like 8 laps with the GT3 RS, and
That's
one
crazy.
lap I was just so in the flow and learning everything and just going quicker and quicker and going smoother through the track. So I think there was like lap 4, maybe lap 4
Hmm.
on that circuit. Yeah.
Is there a video of it? Did you vlog it? Of
Yeah,
course.
I have the full like onboard video from it, and it was my first time on the real track with an amazing car like that. So that was a really good experience, and to have it on like a video as well, it's just I'm just looking at it back and I'm like just smiling.
I can imagine. I had the honor of driving 15 minutes with Nick Tandy at the Porsche Sim Racing Summit back in 2018, if I'm not mistaken, in December. And we're in Leipzig at the Leipzig track of Porsche. Porsche has an own track,
Hmm.
and 15 minutes with a GT3 RS, and it's like I didn't know what to expect because I had never been in a racing car
Hmm.
and I had never been in a car driven by a race driver, and I didn't know what to expect, as already said. And but when I got out after 15 minutes, I was like, okay, I'm hooked. I
Yeah.
I need a Porsche. I
Yeah,
need a
exactly.
Porsche.
Yeah, like once at the Sim Racing Expo last year, we went with a Mercedes AMG GT63. Or, I don't know what a car exactly, but first went with a
The
Mercedes, like a really
GT63, the Beast of the Green Hell, right?
yeah. No,
Yeah.
it was not a car. It was a family car. So we went on the Nürburgring, and it was a
The
really
four
quick
door.
car.
Hmm.
It was still an AMG, so that was my first experience on like the Nürburgring, and but it was like it was a big car driving like a boat, not made for a track. And then after that, I could go 2 laps with GT3, just the Porsche GT3. And it was like such a difference. Like in the other car, I was just flying around, and in the Porsche, you were like belted up and glued to the ground. It was like the grip was amazing. And when I drove the Porsche GT3 RS as well, it just felt like you were stuck to the ground and the car couldn't go anywhere.
That's
So that was great.
that's actually what I love the most, when you feel that the car is like sucking itself on the tarmac, and you feel like nothing can like bring it away
Yeah.
from that track, and it's just such a great feeling. And I was lucky enough to be driving, as I already told, on Sunday as well, 2 laps on the Nordschleife with a taxi driver, a friend of mine. Shout out to Misha.
Mm.
Thank you for taking me with you. We had a street car, actually. It was an Audi TT S, if I'm not mistaken. More infos
Mhm.
I don't know, but he recorded the lap as well, and it's on his YouTube channel with all the specs of the car and everything. And we were like hunting a Mercedes, no, a BMW, and it was just so insane. Uh, it was just a crazy feeling, and feeling the car like working itself on the ground, being stuck on the ground, rushing through the carousel, being pressed into your seats. I was like, okay, I'm done.
Yeah.
I need a sports car. I need a sports car right now.
Yeah. Yeah,
So
I love that feeling as well.
what is your favorite car? It's another question from the chat.
I think the Porsche GT3 RS like stole my heart, but as a track car, and I really
Yeah.
love the Lamborghini Aventador as like show car. It's
Hmm?
just really beautiful. But yeah, for the
Yes.
tracks,
What color?
definitely Porsche. Color.
If you could choose a
Um,
color, what color would your race car have?
the race car. That's a really hard
Hmm.
question. Maybe like a bit more bright orange for the Dutch fans.
Yeah, nice. So you guys have a lot of Dutch, really good Dutch races and esports races. How come? What could be the reason?
Yeah, we have some really quick guys, and yeah, why are they so good? I don't know. We just really like racing. Maybe they have some inspiration from Max Verstappen. He's also really good. So yeah,
Mm.
maybe they have a bit of the Dutch roots.
Yeah, that could be. That could actually be. I was like thinking for a reason. Maybe the good air with like the sea close by. I don't know. Something
Yeah, it's a really
making
difficult
those
question.
racer genes grow. Some exactly. So. All right, Maxime, let's talk about last Sunday. Last Sunday was a quite crazy show. We had 7 different games and disciplines throughout the whole night, 7 different racing titles. And when we first contacted you, if and asked you if you were interested in joining us in our show, what went through your head?
First I thought like, okay, what exactly are we going to do? But then I got like more information and stuff, and the event just looked really good, really professional, and the team behind it, they put a lot of effort in the show. The studio looks amazing, so I think at first I was yeah, I didn't really know what to expect, but I think you guys did way better than my expectations. So it was great to be a part of it, and it was great to play F1 against Jimmy. It was great to play Trackmania, and yeah, unfortunately, Team Green wasn't quick enough, and we didn't have enough
No,
community
sadly.
votes. But maybe next time.
I feel like it was actually Kevin's fault, your team captain's fault, because he really didn't show what he was made of in Mario Kart, I think. Let's blame Kevin.
No,
I did that today
yeah,
in
yeah,
today's recording of the show as well. No, just kidding. No, it felt like watching you guys interact with each other, with your team captain and also with the members of Team Red. It felt very harmonic. Like it felt like really like it felt like we invited a bunch of friends. Is it always like that?
well, I don't know. Like it felt really, really nice and natural. Yeah, I agree totally with you. And I didn't know all the guys in my team, but also like James sent me a message like, hey, do you need some tips for F1? We need to beat Jimmy. So it's like everybody's helping each other, and you, yeah, also you have a bit of rivalry, but still you also know the other people, and it's just great to bring the community together on an event like this. And I think the whole community also enjoyed to be together in these weird times where we can't go to each other and be at events with each other. But this was like, yeah, this was a really nice community like build up.
Yeah, do you think that you'll keep in touch with your teammates?
For sure with James the most, because I recently joined Veloce, so I will be making content with him and doing some streams with him for sure. And it would
Congratulations.
be, yeah, thank you. Yeah, it would be great to stay in touch with the other people as well. But of course, Dave is more like the German side. I'm then the Dutch side, and I'm gonna make English content. But everybody has a bit of their own like place or like focus, and
Of
yeah,
course, of course. Yes, I mean it's still a very young industry. It has already seen a lot of growth, especially in this year, during this year. But if you look at the beginning of esports racing, like what has changed? Like, are there more platforms? Are there
yeah,
more players? Something like that in that direction.
yeah, everything is just bigger and better. There are more players, events are more professional, there are more events, people are able to make their job from it. So first maybe there wasn't really the ability to live from this and make this your main focus because you had to maybe work somewhere else. So I think it's great, and also that the entry level of sim racing is low, so anyone can just get a wheel, start, become better, and then yeah, just grow and maybe do some tournaments and see where you go, maybe to the real track.
Yeah, yes, that's something I want to talk to you about as well. Like we have a lot of esports racers that start out as traditional motorsports athletes, especially with like a lot of karting going on, which is very, very usual for the younger generations, obviously due to the driving license situation. Um, getting their getting into the esports racing scene and then making their way back into the traditional motorsports. And we had a few negative voices throughout the last few months as well, that when it comes to accepting esports racing as an own discipline. What would you say to those people?
um yeah, I think it should go like hand in hand. So you have to be quick on the sim, but wait, it's yeah, you can be quick on the sim and be really quick on the track. But some people who are quick on the track, maybe like the older generation, are not that familiar with the simulator anymore, or not never been. But you see, like Alonso getting in the simulator, and some other people like Bottas also got in the simulator. So it's great to see people who are not that used to simulators to go online as well. And I hope to see that even more. Like, what if we had like the whole F1 grid just in one race online? That would be like
Just
pretty
imagine that.
crazy.
Just
Yeah.
just like that would be so amazing. Like that would be absolutely crazy. But we're working towards it. Like we're
Yeah.
getting more and more professional motorsports athletes into the sims and into the rigs, obviously. And Maxime, a lot of people when they now look on esports racing, they see you guys in all those fancy rigs and those high-end steering wheels with the professional pedals that are exactly the same, like in the car and everything. Do you need all of that to start with esports racing and to be actually quite good in it?
No, I think you can even start with a controller and be really quick. But to go to the next level, it's great to like spend a couple of hundreds of euros for just a standard beginner wheel, and you can beat guys with setups for thousands of dollars just with your wheel from a couple of hundred of dollars. So it's definitely not like pay to win. It's not if you have a
Mm.
really expensive rig that you're quicker. You can be really quick with a cheap setup.
Yeah, if you're talent free, the highest setup won't help you, right? Well,
No.
that's great to hear. That's maybe something for audience, for our viewers and listeners that maybe may have thought about entering the esports racing industry at some point, but got scared away by the prices of the steering wheels and everything. So as Maxime just said, if you enjoy racing, if you enjoy racing games or racing simulations, just go for it. Give it a go with a gamepad, or even, as already said, with a beginner steering wheel for a couple of €100. I can't really remember. I had a post-match interview with one of the esports racing guys who are quite successful, who told me that they only play that they only drive and race on an entry level steering wheel, and then it's absolutely enough to beat, as you already said, the guys in the I can't remember the name for the sake of it, but there's still people out there in the higher ranks of esports racing that are also using only the entry barrier, the entry level steering wheel. So don't be scared, just try it out, and as long as you have fun, the rest will follow. But of course, Maxime, it doesn't go without training, right?
No, you have to spend hours and hours, and maybe it's even like I started off with like the racing line, and that was my biggest mistake ever, because when you get used to that, it's so hard to like not use it. And you even see like Lando Norris and everybody use it sometimes, and it's just when you're used to some assists, it's really hard to take them off. But now for F1 2020, I have all the assists off finally, so
Mhm.
hopefully I will be as quick as I was before.
So maybe you can tell our audience, or maybe our beginners, why is it important to let go of the assistance options in game at some point?
Well, yeah, of course, in the beginning, if you're just spinning around, it's not a lot of fun. But
Mm.
try to just turn off more assists when you're quick enough, when you're used to it, and then the more assists you turn off, the quicker you are. So if you want to be at the top level, you need to turn off all the assists and have control of the car and just fly around the track.
Yeah, because the car is giving direct feedback without the assisting systems, right, interfering with your input as a racer. So let's get back to Sunday, because Sunday was fun. Let's talk a little more
Yeah.
about Sunday. So we had seven disciplines. We had iRacing, we had Formula One. Let's see if I can still remember them. We had Assetto Corsa Competizione. We had Trackmania Stadium. We had Gran Turismo Sport, and Mario Kart. I'm missing one, aren't
Do we
I?
have Forza?
Forza, right.
Yeah.
Forza
Yeah.
Motorsport 7, exactly. So, how would you rank those titles? Like, what is obviously Formula One is your first, right?
Yeah.
If I would take
Yeah.
away F1 from you, what would you race on? For
Ooh.
me, it would be Mario Kart.
Already. um, can I make a top three?
Yeah, of
Yeah, I can make a
course.
top three. I think Assetto Corsa. And then I really want to get into iRacing, so I will be trying practicing a lot on that game. And also GT Sport is a great choice.
Yeah, Gran Turismo. I have very, very fond memories of Gran Turismo. I think on Sunday I told everyone who wanted to hear or didn't want to hear the story about me starting out with a PS2 and Gran Turismo, because at first it just came as a bundle. Like,
Hmm.
they gave you a free copy of Gran Turismo with the PS2. We ended up buying more games, but that was the only game I played. And I think I might get myself a PS5, because I
Yeah.
only play it on PC. Um, how's that with you? I mean, I saw the trailer of the newest Gran Turismo and I was so shook. I was so in love because it looked so good. Looked so realistic. So I'm really excited to see what it brings.
Yeah, I also saw the trailer. I was really excited for the PS5 and to see like Gran Turismo there as well. It's just amazing that they have another like great title coming up, and it looked really beautiful. So yeah, I hope we can play that game at the end of this year. Hopefully, I don't know. We don't
Yeah,
really know when
hopefully.
all the games are coming, and then
No.
hopefully we'll have another like world tour on like Gran Turismo 7 next year. That's yeah, that's just great news. Looking forward to
Great
it.
news. Exactly, it's going forward and it's going to be very exciting. So, as already stated, you've been in the esports racing industry for quite a while. I'm not calling you old because I'm old, you're not. Um, I mean, we've come this far. Where are we going? Where are we headed? So, what is going to happen?
Yeah, it's like since I graduated last year, everything has just gone like so quick. Like all the events, I was traveling around the world, and then at one of those events, I met the Logitech team. And it was in Las Vegas with their like grand finals for the Logitech G Challenge, and I've met the team there, and it was just they were like awesome people, and I really wanted to like work with them. And then at the beginning of this year, I got a contract with them as well to be like the e-racing community advisor. So I'm helping them to make the competition even better, and it's great to be a part of that team. So that was like a main like yeah crazy thing that happened this year. And then the signing with Veloce this week. It's just yeah there. Although it's a weird year, it's like a really crazy year for me, and I can't wait to like grow even further and do what I love. So my Dutch channel is going to continue. My English channel is going to get started. We're going to do awesome so with Veloce and Logitech. So yeah, I'm just really happy at the moment and looking good.
So, so great times ahead, right? So, I mean,
Yeah.
as you already said, you need to take such situations like the ones we're in right now, and you need to use them uh, as a as a way to grow, like to
Yeah.
leave the bad things behind you, to make the best of it. And I think you're doing that pretty well, Maxime. And it was such a pleasure talking to you. And before we close off the show, as you've noticed, we have launched overtake.gg, and the Nitro Nights and the Nitro Nights Stories format is already an institution of the overtake.gg platform, and we offer a lot of interesting formats and articles about esports racing to get you guys at home even better at esports racing. Um, what do you think about overtake.gg?
I really like it. I think it has great potential. I also really love the design, as you said, like of as you see it. Like the studio is really cool, and the website looks really nice, and it's just fresh and something the community needed. And you're also involving the community, like other like YouTubers and racers as well, to like get everybody involved and make it interesting for everybody to watch. So everybody is helping a bit, and I think it's going to be like a really great success, and I can't wait to see where it's going.
Me too, Maxime, me too. And I hope, I dearly hope that as soon as we can travel again, that I'll get you in my studio. And I really can't wait for the time that is lying ahead of us. And I really can't wait to see more amazing content made by you and, of course, the esports racing scene all together. And the chat is currently asking if this is live. Yes, this is pretty much live. And I can type and talk to Maxime at the same time because I'm capable of doing multitasking, which is amazing.
Yeah.
But, guys, also, as already said, Maxime, thank you so much for joining me for tonight after a very busy day of yours. And yeah, thank you for taking time out of your day to talk to me.
Yeah, thanks. It's great to like share my story, and it's great to be here. So thank you a lot.
Perfect, Maxime. Thank you so much. And guys, if you haven't followed Maxime yet, go and follow her, Maxime MXM on YouTube. You will find her. So make sure to keep an eye on that channel for amazing esports racing content coming soon. And yes, we're at the end of our show. We're at the end of our second episode of Nitro Nights Stories. I'm your host, Melek Balgün, and I hope that I can welcome you back in 2 weeks on Tuesday night. Keep an eye on our social medias, overtake_GG. And if you haven't hit that follow button right here, I think it must, or maybe here, I don't know. See the heart, press it, and I hope to see you again. Bye.